What's up everyone, this is Pooka and welcome to another Pokemon TCG video where we're going to look at a top tier archetype that's been around for quite a while now, and we're just going to kind of revisit it once again now that the new set X and Y is out. So of course this deck is going to be Blastoise. So Blastoise is kind of the centerpiece of this deck. It's a stage 2 Pokemon. Has this ability, Deluge. As often as you like during your turn, you may attach a water energy card from your hand to one of your Pokemon. So, you can essentially attach as many water energy per turn as you'd like once Blastoise is in play. Obviously, this is very strong. You can power up big attackers immediately if you just have the energy in your hand. So this is a strategy that's been around for a while. The number one partner for Blastoise has been Keldeo EX. Has the Secret Sword attack, does 50 damage plus 20 more damage for each water energy attached to this Pokemon. So this is an obvious combo. Blastoise allows you to attach as many water energy as you want. Keldeo does more damage for each water energy on it. Pretty simple. It also has the ability Rush In. Once during your turn, if it's on your bench, you can just kind of shove your active Pokemon out of the way and make way for Keldeo. So it's a nice ability to get out of status effects. You really don't need to play switching cards in the deck because you can always just rush in and just pay the retreat cost if you want to go to something else. Or you can use two different Keldeo EX to rush in twice if you want to get rid of a status effect that's on one of your Keldeo EX. So we have 3 Keldeo EX. We do have 4 Squirtle. I should probably take a look at this as well. Squirtle has a very nice ability, Shell Shield. It's kind of like a mini Mr. Mime, just for himself though. As long as Squirtle is on the bench, it can't be affected by damage, but done by attacks. So if he's on the bench, essentially he's safe. It's a very nice ability that allows Squirtle to survive a lot of the times, especially when there's so many things that hit the bench. So we have a 4-0-3 Blastoise line. That might look strange, but we do have 4 rare candy to get those into play. Allows you to skip right from Squirtle to Blastoise. We run 4 of these. We want that to happen as quickly as possible. So we just go 4 rare candy, and then, we don't even bother with the War Turtle because, well, we're just going to try to rare candy. It's faster. Alright, so the other attacker besides Keldeo EX is Black Kyurem EX. This is kind of the powerhouse of the deck. For 2 water, 1 lightning, and a colorless energy, we have Black Ballista. 200 damage, and then discard 3 energy attached to this Pokemon. Now, besides the Mega Pokemon, Black Ballista is going to knock out pretty much everything in its path. Right? It's just 200. Even nowadays, that's still a knockout. Black Kyurem EX is 180 HP, but that does not survive a 200 damage blast. Okay, so you're gonna just try to smoke all the other EXs out there. 1-hit knockout, that's your idea. Once you get Blastoise, you power him up in 1 turn, and there we go. You just want to attack with this guy over and over. It's the EX killer, and it's just probably the biggest attack in the game. Pretty darn good. It also has Slash, just 3 for 60. Kind of an underwhelming attack, but sometimes, if it's just a 60 HP Pokemon in front of you, you just Slash instead and don't bother discarding your energy. But Black Kyurem EX, definitely a good attacker. Definitely what makes this deck kind of over the top and strong. We also have 1 regular Black Kyurem. Kind of half as powerful as Black Kyurem EX. We're going to use it for the attack Flash Freeze. Does 100 and then discard an energy attached to this Pokemon. So, I mean, it's not as good as Black Kyurem EX, but it has 2 things going for it. Number 1, well, mainly it has 1 thing going for it, and then it's not an EX. So, against other Dragon-type Pokemon, say we're facing someone else using a Black Kyurem EX that's weak to Dragon, we can use our regular one and only have to give up 1 prize, since Flash Freeze will do 100 times 2 for 200 damage. This Black Kyurem is also good against Safeguard Pokemon that aren't affected by Pokemon EX, and it's just a nice Pokemon to have. 130 HP. Anything with 100 HP can just kind of get knocked out by Flash Freeze. And you don't have to risk one of your big EX Pokemon in the process. So Black Kyurem has kind of become a staple in this deck as well. Now we have another line here that has kind of become a standard recently, and that's going to be this Electrode. Now Electrode has the ability Magnetic Draw. Once during your turn, you may draw cards until you have 4 in your hand. So this just allows you, late in the game, to keep drawing cards to draw those energy you need. Right, this is big because this deck is very susceptible to N, which can put you down to a low hand size at the end of the game. But now we have Electrode, so we can just a magnetic draw up to 4, even after an N to 1, and we'll probably draw what we need off of those 4 cards. So Electrode has become kind of a staple in these kinds of decks as well. We have one Voltorb here, kind of a funny ability, Destiny Burst. If it's your active Pokemon, it's knocked out by damage from an opponent's attack. Gonna flip a coin. If heads, put 5 damage counters on the attacking Pokemon. We hope it never comes to that, but hey, you never know. Stranger things have happened. Alright, so now for the ever-important trainer section. Now I'm just going to get right to it. Unfortunately, this is one of the decks that really does need Tropical Beach in order to run optimally. I know this makes it difficult for most people to run this deck, but it is a reality of competitive play. We need 3 Tropical Beach. That's kind of the standard for this deck. It just allows you to draw tons of cards in the opening turns of the game. And get that stage 2 Blastoise out immediately, and then get all your energy. It's just, it just really makes the deck run smoothly. So we have 3 of those, and then we're going to have our 4 N, and our 4 Professor Juniper, and 3 Skyla, and then 1 Colress as well. So we have those, and then I would say the most important item in the deck is Superior Energy Retrieval. Basically, you discard 2 cards from your hand, and then take 4 basic energy cards out of the discard pile back into your hand. So obviously this works extremely well in this deck. After you use like a Black Ballista and have to discard 3 energy, you just play the Superior Energy Retrieval and then get 4 right back. It allows you to attack every single turn. Just a very, very strong card in this deck. Otherwise, I've focused this list a lot on consistency. We want to get set up quickly. So I believe if these kinds of decks, Blastoise and Emboar being the similar one, if these kinds of decks set up, I don't think anything really beats them. So we have 3 Ultra Ball, allows us to search for any Pokemon. 2 Level Ball, which can search for Squirtle early on, or it can also get the Electrode line to kind of smooth out our draws with Magnetic Draw. And then 1 Heavy Ball, which can get Blastoise or Black Kyurem EX. So 6 of these ball cards total. And then I think the card that really makes this deck run smoother is Professor's Letter. This is the biggest thing this deck gains from X and Y. Now it's just an item card, but it allows you to search for 2 basic energy cards. And that means you can just grab 2 water energy out of your deck and then boom, start attacking right away once Blastoise is in play. 2 of these really allows you to access your energy very quickly, and it's just an item card, so it's very, very strong. We're also going to play 2 Tool Scrapper because Garbodor is a problem, and we need to deal with it. You know, as long as Garbodor remains relevant, you're going to need to run Tool Scrapper in these kinds of decks because you revolve so much around abilities. So we have 2 Tool Scrapper and then Dowsing Machine for the Ace-Spec card, which allows us to get back any trainer card from the discard pile. Then the energy, just 9 water energy and 2 lightning. That's all you really need, since we can just keep getting them back with Superior Energy Retrieval. So that is the deck in a nutshell. It's interesting to see how Blastoise decks continue to evolve as more and more cards come out. Not too much happened with this new set for this deck, but Professor's Letter definitely is the biggest addition that Blastoise got. So of course, let's take a look at a game I played with the deck and see it in action. I'm sure we've all seen Blastoise in action plenty of times by now, but hey, let's see how it fares against some of these new decks. So after a few mulligans, looks like open it up with a couple Squirtle, and boy, I gotta say, this is one stacked looking hand. I got a rare candy, a Heavy Ball to get a Blastoise. We got Professor's Letter to get a couple of energy. Tropical Beach to draw some cards here. And I think I'm just going to attach to Squirtle here. And we're going to kind of downplay the strength of my hand. And just Tropical Beach for 3 additional cards. Now, if we don't get hit by an N or a red card or gets this, you know, some way to mess with my hand, we're going to go off for a monster turn 2. We're going to get that Blastoise in play. Heck, we might even be able to get a turn 2 Black Ballista. And that's kind of the start where you go, okay, this is just a little too strong. This just doesn't feel right. Turn 2, 200 damage. Ay, ay, ay. Now, it looks like we're up against an Aromatisse deck. Now, these decks have kind of been gaining popularity. But I think their Achilles heel is going to be these one-hit knockout decks like Blastoise and Emboar. It's the same problem that Hydreigon decks always had. You know, they're really strong, but they can't keep up with these kind of decks because they keep losing their energy and they can't replenish them quickly enough. But we'll see. Now I'm going to go ahead and get the Heavy Ball, Rare Candy Blastoise, then Ultra Ball for the Black Kyurem EX. And you can see how smoothly this is running. Obviously, this does not happen every game, but when it does, you can really see the power of Blastoise. I'm going to attach a Lightning and then Deluge, 2 water onto Black Kyurem EX. We just need 1 more water here, and we got it. So, the ever so powerful turn 2 Black Ballista is happening. And there we go. Turn 2, we just did 200 damage. And boy, I don't know how my opponent is going to respond to this. The only thing that's really going to slow me down at this point is going to be something like N, which would put me down at a low hand size. That's the one thing you do have to be careful about when you take a quick lead like this. It can backfire sometimes, but we do have Tropical Beach to fall back on. We do see another Yveltal EX come out, and I believe a Zekrom. And oh, there's a Fairy Garden, so that actually gets rid of my Tropical Beach. Fortunately, I do have the Skyla in hand to just grab another one. So this is going to end up being okay. Yeah, wow, actually, that turned out better than I thought. So I top decked the Superior Energy Retrieval. Now we're just going to go a different route. I'm going to Level Ball, I'm going to Skyla for Level Ball here, so we can search out Voltorb. And that way we can just get Electrode next turn and Magnetic Draw. And we can also Superior Energy Retrieval. Just power up Black Kyurem EX once again and Black Ballista for a second time. And keep going. Keep getting these knockouts. And here we do see the Superior Energy Retrieval. Gonna take back the 4 energy. Let's take, it doesn't really matter which ones I take. I'm gonna take the Lightning and then 3 water. So we'll go ahead and Deluge the other 2 water energy. And let's just go with the Black Ballista, 200 to that poor Zekrom. And collect another prize here. It's only the 3rd turn of the game, and we have taken 3 prizes with 2 big Black Ballista. And, I mean, again, these fairy decks have a tough time with the one-hit knockouts. Now, this is obviously an extreme situation where I got to turn to knockout on an Yveltal EX going first. So my opponent really hasn't had much time to do much of anything right now. And it looks like he's just going to pass the turn after an N. And boy, the good draws just keep coming. We redraw the Electrode along with the Superior Energy Retrieval. That's just kind of silly. And we're going to go ahead and just attach that Lightning, Deluge, and just pump up this Black Kyurem EX. Why not? And then we can also Magnetic Draw for 4. So that turns out pretty well. I can do a Professor's Letter here if I want to. I think I'll just hold on to it. I don't really want to end either. With that Electrode, we're pretty safe from just about anything. So I'm just going to go ahead and do 200 damage. Basically, I didn't want to overcommit too much energy to a Black Kyurem EX. You never know what's going to happen now with Yveltal EX. Coming out of nowhere with muscle bands and whatnot. So we're just going to keep 2 energy on there. Seems like a safe amount. And, you know, as long as I draw something off of Magnetic Draw, assuming I even get End down to 1 card, I'll be able to just Black Ballista one more time and win the game. So this is really crazy. Right? This hardly ever happens where you see the Blastoise deck just run on all cylinders starting turn 2. I mean, when this happens, like I said, I don't think anything really beats this kind of a deck, but man, this is pretty silly. And we do see my opponent just kind of shoving up a Pokemon and hoping for the best, but the best is not going to happen for my opponent. It's going to happen for me, though, as we Black Ballista for, 4 straight turns and get this game over with on turn 5. Wow. Alright, now that is one scary-looking deck. Yeah, 4 Black Ballista, 800 damage dealt. That is pretty darn crazy, so I don't think Blastoise decks are going anywhere. They're still going to be very strong. Would not be surprised to see them at the upcoming state championships. And I guess that's it. So, hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will certainly have some more for you soon. This is Pooka from the Top Cut, and I will see you guys next time.